John Lusk here of Lusk Archery Adventures. Serious testing, successful hunting. I've got a broadhead to test today that I've been wanting to test for a while. It's the Rage Hypodermic P, and this is in 125 grain. The P means that it has a little bit smaller cut, 1.75 inch cut as opposed to 2 inches, a little more swept blades. And then the NC is, it has no collar, no retention ring or clip or anything like that. It just works on friction, and you can shoot it without any bands and stuff like that. So really eager to put this head to the test and see how it performs. And I'm going to be using my 2022 regimen to do that, which includes my Bowtech CP28 set at 72 pounds and my Bowtech SR6 at 65 pounds for the layered cardboard test. And then I'm going to be using the Bishop FOC King arrows for most of the shooting, but if it makes it to the hard impact rounds, I'll be using the Bishop Fat Eliminators because they're just so durable. So let's zoom on in here and check out this Hypodermic P NC, or Hypodermic NC P. Here's a good look at the head close up, and this is a pretty cool looking head. Of all the Rages that I've tested, this is the one that is the most appealing just in terms of some of the characteristics of it for me. I like that there's no retention clip. That's why it's called NC, no collar. There's no collar there. The blades are just held in place by a bit of friction. They snap in a closed position. And the way it works is, as pressure is put on these blunt ends to the blades, they're forced back, and then they reach their full opening position like that. As long as there's pressure on the front, like the head is moving forward, then they're going to remain open. They're not locked or anything like that, so they can slide back. But that's the fully open position, and that cutting diameter is 1.75 inches, so a little less than the typical 2 inches for a Rage. That's going to aid in penetration. That's part of the P. And the other part of the P, the increased penetration, is a more swept blade angle. That you can see the blades are pretty swept back, and that's also going to aid in penetration. Then it has a really interesting tip to it. I like this cut on contact / chisel tip. Let me close it up here. Right here you can see it's pretty sharp on the edges. Of course, it's really pointy, and it's all just one piece. This ferrule of stainless steel comes into this chisel tip, and by my measurements it's 0.29 inches of cutting diameter. So you get 1.75 this way and 0.29 inches that way, and the blades are 0.035 inches thick. You also notice it's got a relatively short overall length to it. I like that. So being all steel, having this cool sharp tip, a smaller cut but still a decent size cut, and more swept blade angle and no O-ring give a lot of promise to this head, provided it's going to have some durability. And that's always been a concern I've had with the Rages that I've tested, but I haven't tested this one, and I'm eager to see how it performs and how it holds up. So let's put this head to the test and see how it does. .225. It penetrated 8 inches, but I do want to note that the blades did not stay open throughout the gel. They opened on the initial MDF, but then as you can see towards the left of the gel, they quickly closed, and they remained in the closed position throughout the entire penetration. .275. It penetrated through 55 layers. However, I do want to note that the blades did not open. They stayed in this closed position the entire time. They opened to their full cutting diameter of 1 3/4 inches on impact of the hide wrapped around the cardboard box. So here's the head after going into the MDF 3 times. On the second shot through the MDF, the blades would no longer lock in place. You know, that NCS retention system that they have just broke, and so they kind of swung freely. And then the third shot into the MDF, it lost a blade, and it actually just like lodged in the front of the target. And so it's not even going to make it on to the steel plate round or the concrete round because it just didn't even make it through the MDF round. So what'd you think of the Hypodermic NC P? Hey, you know, it had some strengths to it, right? You can look through the score sheet and see how it performed in the areas that matter to you the most. It did better, it's a little more durable than most of the Rage broadheads that I've tested, but man, it's still, they've got a problem, okay? There's just a problem with durability on these heads, and I don't really get it, because even the cheap knockoffs that I can get on Amazon for a quarter or a fifth of the price have proven to be much more durable than these. So do check out the score sheet and see how it performed in those areas that matter to you the most, and see if it might be a good fit for you. But honestly, I wasn't surprised, but I was a bit disappointed in that durability once again.